Welcome back to yet another episode of Storytime with Mr. Bates. I hope everyone is doing well out there. Really quickly, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I hope to get to 100 before the end of the school year, and right now we're only 9 subscribers away from that goal. Your support in the comments is really the only reason I continued making these videos. If there wasn't an audience, I wouldn't bother making them, so thank you. Anyway, today's episode is all about how one man's crippling fear of death led to a search for immortality across a nation. Emperor Qin Shi Huang, who I've mentioned before on this channel, was an interesting figure. His rule saw a lot of progress for his people, including a standardized measurement system, currency, and roads that linked up various parts of his empire together. Previously, they were all disjointed. However, he was also known for his obsession with monumental building projects like the Great Wall, and his paranoia towards his own citizens. He would punish people very harshly for seemingly insignificant things that today we would think aren't even crimes. He was also petrified of the idea of dying. This led him to construct one of the most elaborate tombs in history, complete with an army of terracotta soldiers to guard it. But it also caused him to try to find a way to become immortal. This quest resulted in some pretty ridiculous ideas thought up by quacks and con men from all across China, even from the most remote villages. We'll be looking at some of these ideas in this episode. This is a strange one, ladies and gents, so buckle up. According to an old Chinese story, there was an island named Penglai Island, somewhere off the Asian coast of the Pacific Ocean, with a tall mountain where 8 immortal men lived. Shu Fu, a magician and advisor to the emperor, asked for permission to find these men and gain their knowledge of immortality. Emperor Qin Shi Huang granted his request, and so he and his crew of young men and women fasted and cleansed themselves before setting out on their grand expedition. It's important to note, he convinced the emperor to give him a luxurious ship. It was a really nice boat. A crew of young, healthy, fit men to run the ship, and also a group of young, healthy, beautiful women to accompany him on his trip. Why would he need that if he's just going to get immortality? You might see where I'm going with this. They searched for several years and spent way too much of the emperor's money before returning empty-handed. He just sailed around for several years with his crew and, I don't know what to call them, group of girls, let's just say. The emperor was disappointed at their failure to find the immortals, but he couldn't really punish them fairly since he knew there was a good chance the story wasn't real before he even sent Shu Fu out to find them. So he couldn't really be too mad just because he knew, well, it was a long shot before you even went out. Now, I'm not convinced this wasn't just a long vacation for Shu Fu and his crew. A cruise around the Asian coastline, taking in the beautiful sights and enjoying various dishes from the cultures they came across, all at the expense of the emperor. He basically tricked the emperor into paying for his vacation. Pretty devious little plan there. While Shu Fu was out on his pleasure cruise, several scholars also approached the emperor asking for funds to help them in researching an elixir to grant him immortality. These alchemists received vast sums of money from Emperor Qin Shi Huang for their research. Some truly did spend their time trying to mix fungi, herbs, and extracts into a medicine that could cure death. But just like with Shu Fu, there were likely plenty of them that were just living off of the emperor's money while acting like they were doing as he asked. It's important to note that these people, we don't know if they were all honest in trying to find this medicine. We do know that nothing really came of it, so, were they honest or were they just trying to take advantage? Now, I want you to imagine you are a poor lowly farmer and you hear about the emperor's search for the elixir of immortality, and an idea pops into your head. You can go to the emperor claiming you have some kind of special knowledge or that you think you know the secret to the elixir, and that he just needs to give you some of his money to help you with your research. Then, when you receive the funds, you get to go back home and live it up while sending a few letters every once in a while about how you're not quite there yet, you just need a little more money. Of course, this is Emperor Qin Shi Huang we're talking about, so this couldn't last forever. After an assassin failed to kill him, the emperor went ballistic. He sent men out to try to find Xu Fu, but when they failed, he turned his attention to these scholars. When none of them could produce the elixir of life, he had them all rounded up and executed. I guess they should have asked for a boat so they could sail away like Xu Fu did. Just take the money and run. After the failed assassination attempt, the execution of the scholars, and the continued failure of Xu Fu's expedition, Emperor Qin Shi Huang became increasingly more paranoid and fearful that his time was going to end. He secluded himself away, ruling from a secret and secured location. He even mandated that anyone who shared the secret of his location be put to death immediately, even if the person they were talking to also knew. Now, let's think about that for a second. You are a guard assigned to guarding the emperor. You can't even talk to your fellow guards, your co-workers, about where the emperor is, or that guard is honor-bound, oath-bound to kill you for breaking the emperor's mandate. Just think about that for a second. Anyway, I guess it was meant to prevent anyone from ever talking about his location in general, but it's kind of an inefficient way to run a security detail. His quest for immortality didn't end while he was in seclusion, though. On the contrary, it intensified. He became desperate to find anything to lengthen his life. Doctors in his close circle kept trying different medicines on him. Now, you notice I use air quotes for both of those because, were they really doctors and was it really medicine? We don't really know. We know that one of the medicines is what I'm going to be talking about here. A strange little silver concoction that he took daily. What was in this silver concoction? Mercury. The metal we use in thermometers, well, used to use. The metal that stays liquid at room temperature. The metal that is remarkably toxic to humans. Yeah, he was routinely drinking poison. Ironically, his quest for immortality killed him early. Many historians believe he could have lived at least another decade, but because of this toxic drink, he died at the age of 49. That's right. The medicine he was taking to try to cure death led to his death. And so ends the story of Qin Shi Huang and his desperate quest to escape the grave. I, for one, am glad we've progressed past drinking mercury as medicine. I don't think I'd be too happy about being given that kind of cocktail. I feel like receiving literal poison from your doctor could be an issue. Of course, we do something similar with chemotherapy, but that is a very targeted medicine, and it's not just drinking poison for the sake of drinking poison. Now let's take a look at the question of the day. Do you think Xu Fu was actually trying to find Penglai Island, or do you agree with me that he was just enjoying a nice vacation cruise? As always, leave your answer in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next episode. Please remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more weird, interesting, or strange history stories every Wednesday. We're only 9 subscribers away from 100 subscribers. If we can get there, I plan to start doing videos on ancient myths, so please share this video with anyone else you think might enjoy it. As always, have a great rest of your day, you lovely, lovely people. Bye.